The world's most famous anti-tank weapon is undoubtedly the FGM-148 Javelin. This anti-tank has been used in all wars in which the American Army has participated since the 2000s. FGM-148 Javelin is actively used in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, and even now in the Russia-Ukraine war. So many Javelin missiles and launchers are being sent from America to Ukraine that Ukrainian soldiers are firing anti-tank missiles like bullets. As a matter of fact, Russian armored troops are giving a lot of casualties. Allegedly, Russian armored vehicles added iron cages on their tops to protect them from the Javelin missile. But the reason for these cages is not to protect from Javelin missiles, because it is not possible to protect from Javelin with an iron cage. In this video, I will talk about the production story and technical features of the FGM-148 Javelin, a joint production of Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. The guided anti-tank missile used by the American Army in the 1980s was the M47 Dragon and its derivatives. In the 80s, Dragon was insufficient because in the same period Russian tanks with active protection system and reactive armor were produced in the Eastern Bloc. In 1989, the American Army made a request for the development of a new generation medium-range anti-tank missile. The new anti-tank weapon, which was desired to be produced, would be able to use different types of warheads, pierce reactive armor, and reach ranges over 2,000 meters. Texas Instruments and Lockheed Martin agreed to work together on the anti-tank weapon they were asked to develop. These two American companies created the first prototype of Javelin in 1989. The American Army wanted fiber optic cable and laser guidance systems as guidance kits, but these two companies developed a much more technological guidance system. Fire and forget. In the laser guidance system, the gunner sends an invisible laser light to the target, and when the ammunition is fired, the missile's scanner head is directed towards the target. Meanwhile, the gunner has to continuously send laser light to the target. The situation is similar in the wire routing system. In the wire guidance system, there is a cable between the ammunition and the gunner, and thanks to this cable, the shooter can determine where the ammunition will go. The most serious disadvantage of these two systems is that the gunner has to constantly see the target until the ammunition reaches the target. In the fire and forget system, optical and infrared systems are used together. When the gunner identifies a target on the screen, the computer calculates the geometric shape of the target and determines the thermal signature of the target, and all the information is loaded into the missile and fired after the missile is locked on the target. After the missile is launched, the gunner does not need to stay in the same place. After the missile is fired, thanks to the geometric and thermal information loaded on the missile, the scanner head detects the target and attacks the target. The Javelin anti-tank gun had its first combat experience in 2003 in Iraq. The American and British armies used Javelin anti-tank missiles extensively in the Afghanistan war. After these wars, the Javelin anti-tank gun became very popular and began to be used in other American allies. Although this system is quite expensive, it is an extremely effective and powerful weapon system, and more than 20 countries continue to use the FGM-148 Javelin. The last war in which Javelin was used is the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukraine has plenty of Javelin missiles and launchers, and they are used against Russian armored vehicles. Let me talk about the technical characteristics of the FGM-148 Javelin anti-tank missile. This anti-tank system has two military personnel, one is the shooter and the other is the ammunition carrier. With a maximum weight of 22.3 kilograms, the Javelin launcher is 1.2 meters long. The launcher contains a 6.4 kilogram missile. The missile's range can vary between 2,500 meters and 4,000 meters. The FGM-148 Javelin has a two-stage launch system. If such a powerful missile is fired with full force from the launcher, it will inevitably injure personnel, so the soft launch is first activated the moment the missile is launched. The fuse located at the back of the missile is ignited and the missile comes out of the launcher with the effective pressure. After a certain distance, the missile fires its engines and reaches the target. The reason why the Javelin anti-tank missile is so popular is the way it hits the target. When hitting a target with the Javelin, the shooter can either hit the target directly or use the top attack option. When it is desired to hit the target with top attack, the missile, which reaches high altitudes, destroys its target by falling on top of it as soon as it sees it. There's a very important reason why the missile does this, because tanks and armored vehicles have very weak top armor, so an top attack would definitely destroy the tank. Even if you cannot destroy a tank with a top attack, you can destroy all sensors and radio equipment on the tank, because there is no difference between a destroyed tank and a blind tank. FGM-148 Javelin can destroy not only tanks and armored vehicles, but also protected structures such as buildings and slow-moving air targets such as helicopters. You can find the sources I used while preparing the video in the explanation section. Thanks for watching.